Yeah, I'm happy that Dave Petzo remembered to come in. It's Wednesday, and you're thinking, well, really, we usually have Dave Petzo on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was Labor Day. And then Tuesday, we had our friend Victor Miller in. Victor did a great job of filling in along with yours truly. It was the Miller and Miller Show. So today we have Dave Petzo. No, Dave isn't ducking you when we're talking about the markets. Your beloved markets have been taking a beating. It's not looking good for you.
No.
I've been waiting like 7 years to say that.
7 years to say that? I know. It's been 20,000 points, but now the last 1,000 have been a beating. I know.
Right.
Yeah, that's I get that, but that's it has been rough lately. I'm not going to sugarcoat this volatility. It's very volatile right now, and it is an interesting time with what's going on with the Chinese. And so is Trump getting their attention? Is Trump able to make some deals here? I think it's in China's interest. I hope it's in China's interest, and we get some deals done. Well, but either way, the markets are in turmoil now with trades, and I think more importantly than the trade is just general global slowdown that's concerning the markets.
Well, there's a lot to talk about. Certainly the decision by Kroger and Walmart to Kroger saying don't openly carry guns in stores. Also, Walmart decision there. We'll talk about that. By the way, I don't know. What are you doing Friday? Are you busy Friday?
Am I busy Friday? Yes, I am.
Oh, it's too bad. We're going to be once again at Independence Indoor Shooting. I know you were there the last time we were there.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. It was you and Rania went shooting.
Yes,
and
it was terrific.
Right.
They were awesome. They really let you try all these different weapons, and so we're trying to narrow that down because we're purchasers. So we just haven't made that final decision yet.
Well, there you have it. So we will be there coming up Friday from 5 to 9, and you can shoot. You got to pay for your ammunition, but you can shoot for free, and there's a ton of weapons to choose from there.
There are. It's absolutely amazing, and they're so knowledgeable. They really are. It's and they enjoy it. It's clearly this is a passion for them, and I was amazed at how passionate they were and how tremendous information was.
Sure.
And patient. We're not hitting everything that's moving out there, so it was nice.
Plus, you have the triple digits coming up this week still. So it's clean, it's cool, it's climate controlled, well ventilated, which is good at a shooting range, and they have the longest indoor shooting range. We'll get back to that, but let's talk a little bit about the business of guns, the business of firearms. We had another mass shooting. Now we have Walmart saying to customers, and you've been in Idaho how many years? 75 years?
Yeah. 40 years.
40 years.
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years. So Idaho's a little different.
Yep.
Idaho's a little different. You see people carrying guns all the time.
You do.
Right. So now Walmart's saying, please don't open carry in our stores. Kroger saying, please don't open carry in our stores. To me, this has the reverse effect. If you tell someone not to do it, it's like the Kevin Miller rule, then I'm going to do it.
Right.
And dare them to stop us. And look, we're not encouraging this, but from a business perspective, from a person who studies these companies, these public companies, what do you make of these moves?
They're trying to appease something that isn't even the problem, and that's unfortunate. I enjoyed some of the commentary you had earlier, and I couldn't agree more that this is really just deflecting what the real problem is, and there's something wrong with us as a society that people go off and decide to gun down a bunch of people or run them down or stab them to death, blow them up, whatever it is. They're going to grab something and then, but we're blaming the object, and it just makes no sense at all to me. And again, it's just deflection, and it's very unfortunate because I don't think these businesses are reacting correctly. I think they're overreacting, acting like they've just got to do something right now, even if it's not effective. And I think there's a real problem in society when we do things just for show, when they have no effect at all. It reminds me of all the political correctness of all the discussions that go on in different places. And our corporate slogan is, we love all people.
But
and
they must be doing this to appeal to some people.
To appease them.
But you look at a Walmart customer.
Yeah.
Look, we go to Walmart twice a year for Miller's Mission, Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin. Those are good people. People at Walmart, they're very loyal. Look at what happened with Dick's Sporting Goods. Their stock took a tank because they decided we're going to ban guns. The criminals aren't buying their guns at Walmart.
No, they're not. That's what the absurdity is, Kevin. The criminals aren't going to hand them in if they want everybody to hand them in. It's absolutely not addressing the problem. Or if people are crazy and they've stockpiled weapons and munitions and all these things and are making plans to go to the local school, these people aren't turning in their guns. They're not going to say, well, I guess I can't. I'm not supposed to carry these in the car, so I'm not going to drive over to the Walmart and shoot people. It's insane that we address this in such an absurd way and don't address the problem. Again, it's symptomatic of our society. We just want quick answers. Sure. Oh, well, if they don't sell guns here, then we've done our job, and the world will be safer, and I'm going to pat myself on the back all the way home.
Not only that, but the open carry. Let's go to the phones. A gentleman that you've made up with, Tea Party Bob, the publisher of the Gem State Patriot. Do you have a thought, a call, an opinion for Dave Petzo, the Petzo Center, Petzo Financial, Petzo?
Well, good morning, Kevin, and good morning, David. Just been thinking about what you've been saying since the beginning of the show. Now, I've got to say that I'm continually amazed by the stupidity of the corporate giants of this country and the morons who run them. When they look at the reaction by companies like Walmart and Dick's Sporting Goods who have stopped selling guns, ammo, along with the giants like Costco who have signs basically say no guns on the premises rule, they've done nothing but make the public, have done nothing to make the public safer, and indeed have reduced their earnings by not selling firearms. I mean, I try hard not to frequent any of these stores that don't allow the carrying of firearms. Basically, what they're doing is they're putting my life in danger every time I walk into one of them, and I don't have my constitutional right to protect myself. What we need is for a good portion of the gun owners of this country to stop doing business with these companies and restrict our constitutional rights by disallowing them to protect themselves on their premises. Dick's Sporting Goods, they lost, I guess it was 3% the year they stopped selling assault rifles and raised the age to 21 for the purchase of firearms. Their sales were down, but they tried to put another reason on it. You can affect these companies if you hit them in the wallet, and they will stop doing this kind of stuff. Now, if the gun owners of America worked in solidarity, they could stop the corporations from making these rules and inhibit our rights. But for some reason, we don't seem to act in unison. What the corporations have done is to increase the places where assailants will have an opportunity to kill more people because they know they will not be challenged. They have become the gun-free zones of the corporate world, and you put your life at risk every time you enter one of them because they are now not safe places as far as I'm concerned. I can't protect myself. I don't think it's a safe place. Anyway,
and you're right. You're an open carry guy. I can remember when you and I had a showdown with someone. You just sat there and watched while it could have gone to fisticuffs with your sippy cup while you had your 38 or whatever that was on your side.
You carry a gun for protection.
Yeah.
You don't carry it to threaten people.
I needed you to protect me.
You don't need any protection, Kevin. You're doing just fine the way you are.
I don't know about that.
Everybody knows you're down at the independent shooting range all the time. They think you're an expert marksman.
Well, right. Yes, sir. That's me. Tea Party Bob, thank you for the call.
Thank you, my friend. You have a good day.
You as well. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So, for people that are always worried about their money, money, Dave Petzo, is this the end of the line? And I know you're going to go, oh, the media, this, that, the other. Let me hit you with this one. The recession.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people are tired of making money. They want to lose some money.
The press wants to make sure that Donald Trump is not reelected as president, and the economy is his biggest plus.
Right.
So I believe that we are going to spend the next year talking about recession as much as possible, and it is possible to talk ourselves into it, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I just think there's no evidence at all of it out there other than the media works for the DNC. and they are going to continue to talk about this. But it's not just them. It's also the fearmongers that sell annuities. It's the fearmongers that sell gold. It's because they sell in a fear-based circumstance. For example, we've talked about this a number of times, Kevin, but the price of gold when I started in the industry in 1980 was $800. It's $1,500, $1,600, somewhere in that range right now, right? And yet what people will cite is that gold's gone up a lot in the last few months. Okay, that's great and groovy, but it makes no sense on the long term. So when we look at that, or we try to, if you will, justify our fears by buying something that is a fear-based product, it really feeds into that, and it's unfortunate because neither of those things are easy to get out of. Very painful, very expensive to move, and so that's the hard part when people get talked into it.
But for the first time, manufacturing is contracting under President Trump. You have this trade war with China. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's just not fear-mongering. That's the truth.
That is the truth. We also have unemployment.
It's all subjective. What is the truth? You know what I'm saying?
I do. Right. No, that part's true, Kevin, and I think that's absolutely yesterday's news on the again, is part of that. You have to understand is a survey, and when you have a lot of noise, it's not that it's the actual facts. It's what people are anticipating their businesses are going to do. It can be an indicator, but it's also a false indicator. We've had dozen of these during this recovery that have been under 50. Some have been under 40 for their readings, and again, they did not signal a recession at all. So it is something. I'm not saying it isn't a concern. It is a concern, but on the other hand, we're seeing wages at the lowest end rise crazily. Consumers we just got this news last week, at a crazy level in July. So we're seeing numbers that don't all line up, right? That it's all positive or all negative. So we do have global growth slowing down. The United States is still doing okay. And consumers are still spending crazily. But I am concerned too, Kevin. I'm not saying no.
Credit's at an all-time high, though, too.
What's that?
Credit. People borrowing more.
People are, but we also have the asset base. We're much wealthier. We're in much better position than we were in 08.
That's because of the housing.
The housing.
Right. The housing markets, the value of your home has gone up, right?
Oh, so is the market, so is everything. The value of everything has gone up.
More in a minute. Dave Petzo, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Dave Petzo joining us, the Petzo Center, Petzo Financial. How long have you been on the station? 35 years, 50 years, 100 years?
30, I think 35-ish years. I'll have to do the math. It's closing in on 40.
Was the station music then?
No.
It was talk radio
it was sexual deviance and freaks. It was, I'm serious. It was I don't know if you remember the talk radio before Rush Limbaugh.
No, I'm yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So you know exactly. All they had was shrinks on there.
Sally Jesse Raphael. And
yeah,
a few others,
and people talking about the aliens and all kinds. It was very strange.
But we still have the aliens.
We do. That part of it hasn't. The late night part has not gone away.
No.
But the daytime, as you well know, Rush Limbaugh changed all that by having a serious thing, and then Sean Hannity and all the others have just been phenomenal. It's a very serious and information-based stuff now. It's really good.
Here's something that's very strange. Talking about this gun issue, you know Ted Cruz is, right?
Ted Cruz, the senator? Yeah.
You know Alyssa Milano?
No.
She's an actress.
Okay.
Very famous actress. So they're going to debate. What do you make of that? I mean, here you have Ted Cruz, one of the smartest guys in the Senate. He's going to debate an actress on gun control. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. It sounds like a made for TV. It sounds like Ali is fighting a WWF guy or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
One of those made up boxing matches or something that they throw at you once in a while. That's just crazy.
It just shows you just how out of hand it's gotten. More with Dave Petzo next. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Dave. And thank you, Dave. Back to Dave with Kevin on KIDO Talk Radio. So you wanted to ask a question. You were badgering me during the stimulating, compelling traffic report.
Yeah, I was going to say, how was the Oregon coast?
Wow, the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
Very nice. There's something about that ocean when you go there. But I was very, very concerned in the land of loony libs
being
there as a conservative, I go in undercover. Of course, I was wearing my Penny shirts, and people go, "Oh, look, Mr. Penny." And if you haven't seen those, because it's radio, it's just a shirt with a giant penny on because of our fundraiser last year with the Boise Rescue Mission. So I go to the Oregon coast. I go there to recharge. I read a book on the history of a television show that failed eventually, highest ratings, and then it failed. And I noticed something that very much concerned me and really decided it allowed me to focus on being more strident, more vigilant when it comes to our great state of Idaho. Do you know what that is?
No.
All right.
Pray tell.
Pot shops. Everywhere I went. There was the Pig and the Pancake in Lincoln City. There was Zabo's. There was these other places. And if you've ever been to the Oregon coast, you know what I'm talking about. There are Little Sambo's. That's a place. Little Sambo's. Been around a while. That's the name of the place, Little Sambo's.
Hard to believe.
Why are you looking at me that way?
Well, I thought they got rid of the Sambo's restaurants, but yeah.
No, that's the original Little Sambo's.
No kidding.
And it's a tiger now, not as racially offensive.
Well, true. It
Right.
wouldn't, yeah.
And they said it was never racially offensive, and I believe them. However, back to the point, everywhere I went, there was have a toke. Have a toke and a Coke. And what those pot purveyors want to do is bring that smut here to the state of Idaho. Thankfully, your good friend and a person that acknowledges me sometimes, and God bless him, I understand that, the governor, Brad Little, saying no.
Yeah.
Kevin Miller and Brad Little teaming up to stop the pot.
That's right.
That's what I learned on my vacation.
That's what you got fired up about.
Right. Now, look, you're a money guy. You're a money guy.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, if you ever watch Billions, you're like Bobby Axelrod. You and Tommy Ahlquist, okay? Got to give a shout out to my boy Tommy, but
Okay.
but you're the original. So we have this move towards legitimizing this illegal industry.
Correct.
People are saying, buy some cannabis, have a good time. Okay. Now, if I didn't care about morality and ethics, you could go into adult entertainment. We won't call it pornography, but that's what it is. Smut.
Yep.
You make a lot of money in smut.
Yep.
And now you could make a lot of money in pot. I don't believe in doing that. I'm not for legalizing gambling, prostitution, or the pot.
Right.
I'm a
not
traditional. So, but there's a big movement. Senator Crapo, chairman of the banking committee, we talked a little bit about it. They want to let the banks take care of the law-breaking pot purveyors because they're worried about them having too much cash. I say go into a legitimate business. Sorry, that's what I learned on the Oregon coast.
That's what. Well, Kevin, I think you should. Yes, and there certainly is money in pot. And what we see that on Wall Street is people investing crazily and talking about pot stocks, want to know what the next thing is in cannabis and all those things. Look, if it's some kind of a medicinal miracle, then let's test it the way we test drugs. If no THC, CBD is some kind of miracle thing, then let's prove it is. Instead of telling me that, just like the people in the Old West, right, coming around with their solutions to all the problems in the world. We just never really have this vigorous testing of these things, and I know some people get relief or claim they do, and I think that's great.
Have you seen the number of CBD? Sorry, while you took a breath to jump in here, but have you seen the CBD oil shops popping up around the Treasure Valley now?
Oh yeah.
And the governor, during the debate last time when he was lieutenant governor, said, look, there has to be some type of regulation.
Yep.
And look, I'm sure the CBD people are nice people saying, no, ours is tested. There's no THC in it. Trust me, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, the supplement industry, as you know, is the wild, wild west.
It is. You don't have any idea what's in there, honestly.
Right, which scares the heck out of me. Unless,
or what it will do.
Right.
That's what's crazy about it. I mean, these have real active drugs in them. Oh, it's all natural. Who cares? So is poison oak is all natural. It really is. It can affect people in ways that you don't know with the drugs you are taking, or your body reacts differently than my body does. That's why I think these things need to be tested, and because they have real chemical reactions in the human body, and we act like it's just like all natural and it's all going to be okay. It isn't, and that's why I think we need to have it regulated and tested, and it should be. It should be looked at closely. If it's a great thing, then why are we afraid of testing it?
Finally, on another unrelated note, we've been doing a lot of unusual things in this program.
Yes.
We go to schools, we work on the mission. And when people think of talk radio, they go, well, it's for old people. But there doesn't seem to be anybody championing common sense when it comes to tuition and salaries at public colleges, public universities. You have the president of Boise State making over $400,000. You have the president of Idaho making over $400,000. Now, like I said, I'm Mr. Pennyworth, but you're the money guy.
Yeah.
That's 4 times what the mayor of Boise makes, 4 times what the governor makes. Just a little under 4 times. The mayor makes 140, the governor makes 120 without his housing alliance.
Yep.
Can you tell me, Mr. Private Sector, how you can justify paying a university president over $400,000 when you have kids going broke? By the way, in-state tuition for Boise State, $5,800. Out of state, yes, we are bilking the Californians over $20,000.
And same when we go across the border as well, unless you're in the WUI program.
Well, wooey. So,
yep. You can't justify it. No, you can't.
Making $400,000 in the private sector, making $400,000 as president, whomever.
Yeah, and I think that's when we're talking about public money, we have to do it responsibly. It is hard, Kevin, because you have to have talent at the highest level. And to compare, for example, that it's ridiculous that Sabian makes $8 or $10 million a year, the highest paid public person in all of Alabama. Well,
Saban, yes, my boy.
Yeah,
right.
So you end up in a circumstance where then you can start. So as a slippery slope to compare all of these. You do need the best talent at the highest level. The problem that we end up with is that school isn't working, but we don't change it. What we claim is it needs more money, and when we don't change something that needs changed and throw more money at it, can you imagine a business that says, this division over here isn't working? And then, so let's allocate more budget to it.
Sure, but
that would be stupid. Nobody would do that.
Nick Saban's the winningest coach in college football. You could justify it because the
Correct.
enrollment has gone up. For a university president, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you've created and started your own company. You have a lot of great people that work with you.
Yeah.
And work hard every day. The ROI. But you can't tell me that being a public figurehead
right.
is worth over $400,000 in Idaho.
I would agree with that. I totally agree with you on that. But I also think that you have professors in name that aren't really in there teaching much. They just are on the roll in multiple institutions around the country. The most of their money is made when they go on speaking tours, like The Economist from Chicago University and things like that. But they're being paid by those universities vast sums just to be there, just to say, yes, I'm a professor at this university. The question is, does it really bring more students there? If it does, then they're worth that much. But when we're talking about public education, not producing people outside, and again, not to besmirch the people that are out there working hard as baristas, but you come out with $100,000 in student loans and are serving coffee because you wanted to get an education in Egyptian history. This is just ridiculous, and I'm seeing it with the university out here. We love over there by where you do the Walmart thing. Come on.
And or CWI.
CWI, thank you. And how low the cost is,
right.
And how practical it is.
Right.
And they're going in there with body works and all those things. It's fantastic what they're doing, and they're bringing the cost down. But at the major universities, the costs are still going up, and it's a problem.
Dave Petzo, the Petzo Center. Catch him Saturdays 8-10. Money Matters. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. And rolling on the right side, let's find out the latest on the hurricane. Live at the epicenter, Rachel Sutherland joining us, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, her old stomping grounds on KIDO Talk Radio, your home for Fox News Radio. Rachel, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Yeah, this is the area that would be in the crosshairs if it is indeed going to make landfall. It could be here. It could be anywhere up toward the Outer Banks. As you know, those islands are very delicate, and people here are preparing. When they came in last night, there were sandbags lined up along the store doors and windows. I drove along Ocean Boulevard, and there were all these no vacancy signs, and that's simply because they're packing up and leaving. So the hotels are closing down along the ocean front. So you see a lot of concern here, although people here are, to be honest, they're kind of used to hurricanes. They do this a lot. So they're prepared. They say that they are ready. the effects probably will start being felt late today into tonight, and tomorrow probably going to be the big day. High tide is at 1:34 p.m. here tomorrow, and as you know, if that's when Myrtle Beach is feeling the highest impact, that's when you're going to see a storm surge and possible flooding.
Rachel Sutherland joining us. For people that aren't familiar with Myrtle Beach, is that a vacation area?
Absolutely. They call it the Grand Strand. It's not just Myrtle Beach; it's North Myrtle Beach. It's a beautiful coastline, miles and miles of just pristine beaches. They pride themselves on being a beautiful, family-oriented tourist destination. But there is a sizable population who lives there. I mean, they handle millions during the summer months. During the winter months, it's much quieter. When I lived here a long time ago, I won't mention how long ago, there were maybe a local population of about 30,000. So you would bump into the mayor at the grocery store kind of thing. But in the summertime, they handle a lot of activities. It's really built up over the years. They have all kinds of attractions, roller coasters in the middle of town and stuff like that. So this is definitely a popular tourist destination. But they also deal with hurricanes on a regular basis.
Right. I mean, those people there in the Carolinas, whether it's the Outer Banks, another popular vacation spot, or in South Carolina, I mean, it's mini golf and hurricanes.
Yeah, it is mini golf and hurricanes and regular golf, too.
Right.
Mini golf and lots of great restaurants and tons of fun shopping, all kinds of fun stuff to do here. But, yeah, when I came in last night, that wasn't the normal Myrtle Beach that I see. It's like, they are really taking this pretty seriously. They had flashing board saying Hurricane Dorian coming, leave now. And so, but this area, they know how to handle hurricanes, but they are closing down a significant amount of stuff as they really prepare for the worst and just hope for the best.
Rachel, final question here on KIDO Talk Radio. Why is it important for you to be there?
Well, someone needs to be here. And I know the area. I know how to get around and drive around the area. No matter how heavy the rain is pelting, I can figure it out. And I'm also fortunate enough to work out of one of our Fox affiliates here, where I'll have a generator and power and that kind of thing. Yeah,
it's scary though when all of a sudden there's power out in a city and there's flooding, and all of a sudden you're driving down the road and boom, there's a big pool of water that if you go through it, it could sweep you away. A lot of folks don't understand that even after the hurricane leaves, you're like in no man's land.
That's right. And, I really don't plan on going very many places after the storm starts to hit. I mean, I think I'll just hang here. I think that would be the safest place for me. And so, but there's all kinds of people who have to work. I'm in a radio station full of people who are working and doing the local radio, which is so important to keep people informed here. And local stations all across the country that do just that. Yeah.
It is lost in our digital world, but the power of local radio that launched you, and now you're covering the national stuff for Fox. We always appreciate you, Rachel.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. Oh, be safe. Hope that went out before they got her. An important message. Did you know that September is National Suicide Prevention Month? There are many people that talk about preventing suicide. Idaho, unfortunately, having a challenge with adult suicide, veteran suicide. Maybe you've been touched by losing a friend. For me, I remember the year 1989. I lost my best friend ever, Philip Dion, to suicide. My best friend. Went to high school together, lifted weights together, had dreams together. Philip was an Army veteran, airborne infantry, honorably discharged, had the rest of his life to look forward to. We were 20, 21, something like that. Philip took his life. I miss him every day. I pray for him every day. He's my best friend ever. Folks, if you are struggling the highs and the lows of life, or you know someone going through the highs and the lows in life, don't make that comment, hey, you're bipolar. Don't be snarky. I know you're not. This is Idaho. Call this number or give this number. Now, we're blessed that we have an Idaho suicide hotline. Remember, for years we didn't. Through the great volunteers, their wonderful work, we can prevent suicide here in Idaho. 208-398-4357. 208-398-4357. And not only during this month, but throughout the year, we're going to continue to give out this number during this show. Our hope is to make a difference. You know, when we take a look at people that are feeling so hurt, so tragic, how many of us have been at the lowest of the lows? And what saves us? Friends, family, God. You know, that whole verse of the song, Be Not Afraid, I go before you always. God is always with you, right? And we need to love more. And we need to save our fellow Idahoans. We need to save our fellow Americans. We have so much to live for. I understand sometimes the negative can get you down. But there's no reason to think about ending your life. Call these folks today, 208-398-4357. That is the Idaho Suicide Prevention Hotline. I want to thank those wonderful volunteers. I want to thank the people that fundraise, whether it's the Idaho Suicide Prevention Hotline, the Speedy Foundation, other organizations. If you know someone involved in prevention of suicide, we'd love to get them on the air. Yeah, I know I need to get off my duff and start making some phone calls. But if you know of someone that wants to speak about their group, how they can help others, we'd love to hear from them. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to make a difference. Coming up next, you won't believe what happened when a piece of food is used as an assault weapon. It's going to make you laugh, and let's face it, we could all use a chuckle next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And coming up, can a cupcake be used as a weapon? Believe it or not. And Harry Potter, not looking good for Harry Potter in a Catholic school. First, our great friend Ron Grant joining us, the Safer Money specialist, the original Safer Money man. He knows all about safe money. You can catch him Saturdays 2 to 3 on KIDO Talk Radio. Ron, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing today?
Not bad. Your thoughts on keeping your money safe. How do you do it?
Well, we put it in safe insurance products. We get a chance to participate in some of the upside of Wall Street, but never the downside of Wall Street. We can get a reasonable range of return, but we can also get a guaranteed lifetime income that we can't outlive. You know, back in 08, 09, when the market tanked almost 50%, my clients and I, we got a zero. And a zero is always better than a loss. You know, tune in this Saturday, 2 to 3, we're going to be talking about controlling your retirement fees. And that's important because you want to know how to control those so you make sure you keep the bulk of your money in your own pocket. You know, my clients and I, we do sleep at night. I give them pillow money where they can't lose that principal and they can't lose that gains. And we stop paying those pesky fees that you're paying to your financial planner, your stockbroker, your 401k company. Remember those fees, they eat up your returns. So make sure you tune in Saturday. Kevin and I got some good information for you.
Well, and we'll take your calls from 2 to 3. If you'd like to get a hold of Ron anytime except for Sunday, Ron, what's your phone number?
208-660-1372.
And your website?
It's safermoneyspecialist.com. And also you can download that free book I have, 10 Things to Know About Retirement Income. Just go onto the website, and over there to the right, click onto that link, and you can click on and you look at the book. You can download it, read it online, whatever you want to do.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It doesn't cost you nothing.
All right. Ron, we appreciate you. You'll take calls right now, won't you?
Yes, I will.
All right. Your phone number again?
208-660-1372.
Ron Grant, Ronnie G., we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you guys. You have a wonderful day.
All right. Give Ron a call today if you want to keep your money safe.
Cops say it was the culmination of a road rage incident. They say 31-year-old Trevor Pearson of Lexington, Oklahoma, was a passenger in a car driven by a woman when another driver flipped her off. Cops say that's when Pearson threw the cupcake out his window, through the window of the other car, hitting the driver in the face. Police say the man wasn't hurt but wanted to prosecute, so now Pearson is facing an assault with a cupcake charge. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
KIDO Talk Radio. Well, we love Gary and his stories. So, first of all, that guy with the cupcake has to have incredible aim to throw it from the inside of one car to another, to hit the person in the face, and then the other person getting hit in the face with a cupcake after the flip-off. What's the lesson here? Well, the lesson here is, look, many times in life, and I'm going to say we, I'm not going to say me, but the visual is me. Many times in life, we think of ourselves, especially men, maybe of a certain age. I guess you could say it would be The Rock now. Everybody wants to be Dwayne Johnson. I'm Dwayne Johnson. Of course, Dwayne has a little bit better sense of humor than Chuck Norris did and Sylvester Stallone and wink, wink, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody wants to be a tough guy. I always wanted to be Chuck Norris, right? We always wanted to be the tough guy. In reality, and this is a little dated reference, more often than not, and I know I resemble Chris Farley, God rest his soul, but I was more like Peter Sellers, the bumbling Inspector Clouseau of the 70s and early 80s classic, The Pink Panther, right? Road rage is dangerous. I know cupcakes are crazy. And we can laugh about the cupcakes. And I don't know if I would really have the gall if I got hit in the face with a cupcake that I would waste the police time. Hello, Meridian Police Department. Hello, Ada County Sheriffs. Hello, Canyon County Sheriffs. Caldwell PD, CUNA, whomever. Boise PD. I'd like to report an assault. Well, did they physically attack you? Well, yes, with a weapon. Was it a gun, sir? Was it a knife? No, it was a culinary item. I don't know, a cleaver? No, it was a cupcake. Anyway, it makes you wonder, what the heck were they thinking? Thank goodness we live in Idaho, and please be safe on the roads. Big three comments of the day. Traffic and weather together, avoiding road rage. Let's drive safely and on time. Good morning, Dave. All right, so here we have it. Assault with a cupcake. Here's another issue. Are you a Harry Potter fan? I mean, there's so many people that have watched The Hunger Games and have lived on Harry Potter. I'm going to raise my right hand right now and say, I'm out of touch, Kevin Miller. I'm not down with the swords, the wizards, flying on broomsticks. I'm more of a superhero guy, not the politically correct kind. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But there's one, two, three, four Potter generations. Well, a Catholic school in Tennessee said, nope, we're not going to allow Harry Potter in our library. So Harry and his wizard friends can head back to Hogwarts. Now, it's fascinating when you think of the world of the occult and Harry Potter, one of the most popular characters ever created by J.K. Rowling's. People love Harry Potter, the movies. Mrs. Miller loves Harry Potter. When it's a bad day, put on Harry Potter, right? But the school says that the books risk conjuring evil spirits. Now, there's a reverend there, Dan Rehill, has ordered the series removed from the K through 8 building. By the way, he's probably a priest if it's a Catholic school, which it is. The occult, Harry Potter, and Catholic schools. So many times we rip educational religious institutions for what? Not holding up to their convictions. Me, it may be unpopular, but I'm down with saying no to Potter. But we always seek to serve you. Let's go to John in Middleton, who wants to review what happened recently on the KIDO Talk Radio show. Good morning, John.
Kevin, good morning, man. Just thank you again for your program. You know, it's such unique, just being like one relationship away from our officials. You let me ask Raul Lavador a question yesterday. There's a lot of, I think, important issues here, and everyone kind of got their hot button items. One of them for me is the major problem of illegal immigration. My wife, she came here legally from another country. Her name, it sounds something similar to like a Hernandez or something. It's not that, but it's got a similar connotation and everything. But she came here legally, and We never got any money from the government. We actually gave them thousands and thousands of dollars. Took years and years to do. Many seem like endless hoops the right way. And then you see what's going on here, where these guys we bend over backwards for them. They're here legally, and we give them all these freebies, and we incentivize them. And that's this state. That's our Republican elected officials creating this environment here. And when I asked Raul about it, his response was, yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do anything about that. I tried 8 years. But what he didn't say was he was trying on a federal level